get all the things. All right, so we got Instagram. Okay, so weirdly, it's not letting me add Instagram.
Oh, today?
Hi, Jay.
Hey, how are you? I did like this. I don't think you were looking down. Good to
Okay.
see you.
You too.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not working for Instagram. It's like,
Boo.
but I do see Talana's
Oh,
on there as a destination, which is great.
Yeah, we are live on my end.
So let's try this. Let's try this and see if it works. It does not want to work today. All right. Well, sorry. Yeah.
Well, maybe in the next.
You're live on Facebook, okay?
We are live everywhere else, but Instagram's being weird today. So listen,
Might be an upgrade.
I don't know. It's weird. Normally it just lets me add it and it's not a problem, but today it's a problem. So listen, in the interest of time, as y'all know, we're gonna be efficient here. Y'all can catch us on Facebook or Instagram. Or no, you can catch us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube. All right. So you have all the deets. Okay. So if you are new to the crew, welcome to the party.
Welcome. Come on in.
So for our Wealthy and Worthy Wednesdays, it is our time to check in with our community to talk about all the things that are related to being wealthy and worthy, and just reminding you of the wealth and worth that already exists in your life. So we're super glad that you have decided to join us for another week. Our topic this week is money moves. All right. We talking about money moves today. Okay. So normally, or not normally, I feel like lately we've been very heart-centered. We've been talking about all of the kind of soft skills and interpersonal things. Today we talking about the coins, okay? And that's one of my favorite things to talk about. So I'm going to, and today, super excited. I got all the ladies here. So super excited to talk about the business, okay? And I'm going to pass it off to our amazing host, Miss Stephanie. And yeah, thank y'all for joining us again every week. Make sure you're engaging with us in the comments. Again, apologies that Instagram is being a little funky today. So we'll work on that and have it ready for y'all next week. So let's jump on in.
Yes, I am so excited about this conversation around luxury and money. And so I'm going to jump right in. But this week, we're going to do something a little bit different. Normally, I have customized questions for everybody. But this week, I would love to just open up a roundtable discussion to kind of see how you ladies see certain things. So we're going to jump today with our first question, which is, so many women think that buying time is a luxury. How can we shift that mindset to see it as a strategy? And we're going to start first with you, Dr. Tiana.
Can you ask the question again?
Yes. yes. So many women think buying time is a luxury. How can we shift that mindset to see it as a strategy?
Okay. Ooh, yeah, how to shift the mindset, you just have to do it. I'm struggling to think about practical steps to tell you, but I think what comes up for me is kind of, I guess for me, how I came to the decision, I guess, or like how I changed my mind about it. And I think ultimately it was just a decision of like, this is way too much for me to be doing. Like, right. And it was like a feeling of like, I wish I could just duplicate myself. Right. And so then it was like, okay, I can duplicate myself, right? And what are my options in doing that? Right? Like, is it training up, like, for example, in work scenarios, it would be, oh, I need to invest a little bit more time in upskilling my team so that they can take on more from me, right? If it was related to house or home, my personal life, then it was like, okay, well, what things are things that only I can do, right? Like, for example, food, right? My family needs to eat. Nobody says it has to come from me, right?
Right.
Right? Like, and
Right.
don't get me wrong, I love cooking and I enjoy cooking for my family.
You're a great cook.
It is a gift. Oh, thank you, Jay.
Welcome.
It is a gift that I feel like much pride about being able to serve my family in that way, right? But the reality is, like, it doesn't have to come from me. So if there are times, like, this actually just came up this past week because I really wanted to cook. And with me, focusing on my health, I said to my husband, I haven't cooked in like 6 weeks, because of y'all, my support, my village, these ladies on the screen, right? Showing up in person to cook for my family, to meal prep so that we have meals in the freezer, right? So for 6 weeks, I haven't cooked. And so I was like, I really want to, like, just cook something basic, right? So he let me get in the kitchen. I cooked some tacos. I made some taco meat, right? That was
Yay.
all I did, right? But all of that to say, you have to change your mind. Like, I can't give you like a secret trick or strategy. You just have to change your mind about how you think about it and focus on, okay, this is a tip. Focus on only the things that you can do. Right? Like, if there are things that other people just don't have the skill set, don't have the gifting, don't have the capacity, like, then that'll help you narrow in and focus and prioritize the things that you actually really should be showing up for and doing, versus being able to outsource or delegate.
I love that. And so, to you, Jeannie, I know you work with women who struggle to let go of control. So, what does that look like emotionally?
Oh, absolutely. It looks like overwhelm consistently. It looks like, for some, overwhelm at some point because we hit a wall and there's a burnout process that takes place. For others, it's a fatigue. Sometimes we call it compassion fatigue,
Oh,
right? We
wow.
stop being able to relate to other people because we're doing everything, taking everything on. And we build this imaginary understanding that in doing so, everybody else around us is doing less. And we start to almost villainize them for it. It doesn't, it goes beyond, I'm doing everything because I need to control and I need to be at the center of everything because I don't trust that anyone is going to have my back in this or anyone's going to do it the way that I want it done. So I'm taking all of this, right? But in taking so much, I'm not allowing others around me to show up for me. So I start to villainize them for it and creating that dynamic. It's tough. I mean, even you saying the question, right? This idea of like, what do we say to women who think that buying time is luxury? That's their thought process, right? And a thought is fleeting. It can shift and change. And oftentimes when we're even asking ourselves those types of questions, we have the ability to say that there's some level of an alternative that exists, right? But if you're not inside that exploration, like Tiana said, this idea of like, I just do that or I can just do that, it does become this situation of like, I'm stuck in that. And then here comes all of the overwhelm, and here comes all of the compassion fatigue and the villainizing those around me who aren't helping me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And when you speak about compassion fatigue, I think that's something that many women who are juggling families deal with often is like, how do I show up for myself? And how do I figure out, like we talked about last week, what belongs to me and what belongs to others, right? So there's a common theme here. So Talona, I would love to hear, how do you see this show up in the way women manage their homes and families?
I think that we've been taught that rest and ease are rewards and not rights, right? So we tend to feel guilty, like when we're resting or when, we don't want to do a certain thing. We have to divide our time between multiple things that we're passionate about or that we love. buying time isn't about being like fancy, it's about being wise. Have you guys ever heard the terminology? And you, most of the time it's used with men where they're like, if you want to know where a man's heart is, watch where his money flows or watch where he spends his money on. You know, it's the same thing when it comes to our time, like seeing our time as currency, right? So if you look at our time as currency, you start to like spend it where it truly matters. Right. And I think if we start to kind of wire our minds in that way, like my time is currency, and it's not currency as far as like physical currency all the time, but it's currency and it's extremely important. And I need to be more focused on where I'm spending it and who I'm spending it on.
Yeah.
Right. And so, yeah, I think that answered the question.
No, it does.
In the ladies and their answers, I kind of forgot a little bit what the question was, but I think
you did. You answered it perfectly. And you know, one thing that I know that men do better than women is outsourcing, especially when it comes to their personal lives, right? And even when we say outsourcing, even if that's outsourcing it to the other women around them, they have no power to say, I'm going to do this. And I think
right. And a lot of us would label that. A lot of us would label that selfish.
Wow.
Is it truly being selfish? They could just be better at delegating than we are.
Yeah,
I think that they are better at being self-full.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just an observation, you know, and even in some of the couples counseling that my husband and I do, like, I feel like I noticed that as a trend. It's just there's less guilt. There's really, you know, it's just practical. It's not emotionally driven. It's just this is what needs to get done and what is the most efficient way to get it done.
And I think if you're a man and you see women consistently being very good at creating collaborative relationship with you, because we are incredible at it, highly adept, just so you know. You can trust in it. And when you can trust in something, you are going to utilize that resource again and again and again, and especially with women and especially with Black women. So they've had it. They have it to delegate. They got the plug, as the kids say.
They do.
I love that. I love that. That's good.
All right. We're going to lean on the chat a little bit. How many of you all have been guilty of actually saying, if no one else does it, I'll just do it myself? I'll raise my hand and say that I am often quick to say that, right? Like, if I can't get someone else to do it, don't worry about it. I'll do it myself. It's easier, right?
I'll raise both hands on that one.
Oh, man. I'm worse than that, because I'm like, if I want it done right, I'm going to do it myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
So one thing with me, I'm not sure. I may be the one on the line that has the oldest children, maybe. I'm not sure with Stephanie. Okay, so for me, I learned delegation from being a mom and being burnt out when my kids, as they started. I have 3 kids; they're 5 years apart. Right. And so I have the older. So I always have one like in every stage of life. And I learned how to delegate because I would complain about all the things that I had on my plate and all the things I had to do, and nobody cares. And oh my God, like, look at all this, do this and do this. No one helps, you know, and things like that. And my husband sat me down one day. He was like, well, why do you feel you need to carry everything? Like, nobody asked you to.
Okay, husband.
This is something you had in your head that you had to do. Teach those kids how to do their own laundry. Teach those kids how to clean up their own bathrooms, you know, like, and start to delegate. And that's where my delegation started, with the children.
and your husband is great at I feel like at that, like, holding that perspective, like, even in our marriage, down. You know, he's always been the one that's like, forget them kids, you know, like,
right. Putting into perspective.
Like, forget my kids, but I get it now. Now I'll be like, forget them kids. Let's go over here.
You need that other part, because what you're doing in those moments is helping to develop your young. It's helping to develop your littles. I think people forget the gift that is delegation, right? If I never let anybody else do it, I'm consistently handicapping them in not letting them do it. It's a skill set to be able to do your own laundry. It's a skill set to be able to wash the dishes. It's a skill set to be able to be strategic and manage your own time. If you don't ever give that away to your kids because you're the one who's like taking over and controlling the entire household, they
Right.
never learn to do it for
They never
themselves.
learn.
They stay dependent on you. So yeah,
Yeah.
Chris is fantastic at that.
And they become unproductive adults.
Exactly.
Cassandra on here, she says I say it's easier to do it myself than show someone else how to do it. So Cassandra, I used to think like that, right?
Yeah.
Until I learned that the time that it takes does not outweigh the freedom on the other side of it, right? So yes, it may take time. Let's just say it takes 2 weeks. You may have to remind them, okay, this is done wrong or whatever. But in totality, when you look at the grand scheme of things and the timeline of things, like you free up time on the back end or later on down the line just by teaching them now. And yes, it's frustrating. Yes, it takes some patience. It takes some time. It takes some extra attention. Sure. But for an extreme short period of time versus them knowing how to do it for a longer period of time. And now you freed up your time in the future.
I'm gonna go heart-centered on it because I
Okay.
think this is really tough and people forget about this.
Okay.
When you are in community with other people, when you are spending time teaching them something, you are connecting with them. Even if you're frustrated, even if you're not having, you're experiencing some negative emotions at times, in teaching things to your kids and showing your husband something and showing your friends how to do something or do something better or do it as well as you do, you are taking time to connect with them. When Tiana's helping me cook something or I'm cooking beside her, she's teaching me. I'm learning from her how to do something, how to create something. I remember one time, what'd you do, Tia? I was at your home and I was cooking Alfredo or something, like a shrimp Alfredo for the family or something like that. And we were like out of the Alfredo sauce, and I bought Alfredo sauce from a jar. Okay, don't judge me. Judge somebody else. Judge somebody else. But that's what I do. So I didn't know that you can just like make your own sauce if you run a sauce. You know how quickly she whipped up a heavy creamer and put in some seasonings and all this good stuff. And so I learned, you use heavy whipping cream to make extra sauce for Alfredo sauce. To me, I was like, I would never learn something like that. But she did it with so much love, so much patience. She wasn't judging me. She wasn't frustrated and teaching me something new. She's my girl. She's right beside me, trying to help me, know how to do these kinds of things.
Absolutely.
And that's me feeling, I still got it. It's still in my heart. That's what so connection is about doing the things with someone. Teaching is connecting. So just don't forget that. I know.
That is so good, Jeannie.
I
So good.
love that so much. I also, though, for me, as I read your comment, Cassandra, thank you for sharing that comment and that thought, because when I read it, what came up for me was how I got over the belief that I had to show them how to do it. And this has come up so much for me since I've become a parent, right? Like my kiddo, he's only 3, but there are lots of times where he will try to do something, and in my head, I'll be like, oh, well, let me show him how to do it. But my conscious parent, gentle parent hat is like, pause, give it a minute, because he will find his own way. Right. And so I often have to stop myself from robbing him of his self-confidence. And so I step back a lot and then I ask him, do you need mom's help? Do you need my help? And then sometimes he'll say no. A lot of times he'll say yes. Right. But I noticed that I didn't always have that level of awareness, like with my husband, right? Or me and my husband were married, we were like 5 years together before we had children, 7 years together before we had children. So it's like, I now think about it now, and it makes me much more, I think much more patient with my husband even, right? Because then it's like, I don't have to show him the right way. Like if there's something that so for example, I can't bend right now because of my back. So if I need laundry washed, most of my clothes, I don't dry them. Right. So that is a context where he would actually ask me, do you want these hung up? Or is it okay if I wash these together, and can I hang them up, or can they go in the dryer? Right. That's a very unique scenario, right? But most of the things that happen in the context of our household and running our family do not require that level of like detail and precision. So however he does it, it's done, right? That's the point. And so I think some of it is even for us, like taking the weight off of ourselves to feel like we have to show people the way, like allow them to trust in themselves and be a guide if they ask and if they need it, right? So that's just offering up another perspective on how we can think about, the whole belief that like if we don't do it, it just won't get done.
Yeah.
So thank you, Cassandra, for that.
And it makes me think about Talona. Last week you talked about with your kids, right? You said that you went from parenting to coaching to now advising them. And so even with that, when we're talking about delegation, how do we know whenever it's time to coach or time to advise or hover over like a parent is? How do we know when we are trying to delegate in which bucket they fall into? And not just children, just all things.
I think that we know by the level of our capacity a lot of times. Sometimes we need to really review a situation before it actually comes to pass, right? And so a lot of times we get in situations and we're just go, 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 go. And then we get to a point of overwhelm where we're like, oh my God, I got to delegate. Right? That's what causes the tension. That's what causes the frustration. That's what causes you to get upset when things aren't done the way that you thought they were supposed to be done. Right? But if we take the time to slow down before we enter a situation, say, what does this look like? Like I think about my business, how I started my business initially, right? I look at T started her business totally different than I started mine. And I applaud her for how she starts hers with team first. Right? Team in mind first. I went in it wearing all the hats first. Right? And then had to fall, get up to determine, oh, wait a minute, I need a team. Right? For me, if you step back and you create a plan prior to jumping in to situations. So like, for example, if it's in your house and it's your children or your husband, sit down as a family and come up with a plan of who does this, when is it done? What's the cutoff date of when it has to, for kids, they need rules and regulations, right? So what's the date that we do these things and when we expect them to be done, right? For your spouse, it could be, okay, maybe you're a little bit more lenient on time, but hey, this week you handle during the week, you handle this, and I handle this, right? And so really creating a plan prior to, but also honoring your capacity. Like if I get to a point where I feel like, because I may have overestimated, like maybe I thought I could take on these things and I really can't now. Can you recalibrate? Can you slow down and say, you know what? Be honest with yourself. I can't carry this, and be willing to let go of something. Maybe something's not going to be done this time. Can we be okay with that? And just really being realistic, because a lot of women that I mentor who are going through a lot of emotional distress, they're carrying a whole lot. And I always ask, what are you willing to let go? Are you willing to let go? A lot of them have such a hard time because most of the things that we create become our babies. And we don't let go of the baby because we're scared that the baby not going to be taken care of if we let go of it. But guess what? A lot of times the baby is just fine. You know what I'm saying? So I would say step back, create a plan prior to jumping in. But once you jump in, if something arises, be willing to step back, reassess, and make adjustments as needed. Pretty much.
I love that. So, Dr. Tiana, I'm going to push this to you. So, Perry Renee Ford Lopez says she doesn't have children, so she's always felt the need to set aside the funds to get the appropriate help that she needs around the house, but she's finding it harder in this economy. What advice do you have for women who know they need to delegate, or maybe they've done it so well in the past, but now they're finding themselves in a situation where they're choosing between paying the next bill or delegating? What advice do you have for them?
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to prioritizing, right? So prioritizing, but and then also being open to any possible scenario, right?
Mhm.
So, for example, I had this might have actually been, I can't say who this was, but anyway, somebody that I was kind of informally coaching. And they were, mentioning about they had a new baby and they were mentioning about like not being able to afford childcare. Okay, fine, right? And then I was like, well, what about like a nanny, somebody that can come into the home and help support you, whatever. And they were like, that's too expensive and blah, 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 blah. And I said to her, I said, listen, you can pay $15 for a babysitter to come into your home. Even if all you have is $15 for the week, have them come for that 1 hour and set aside whatever task is most pressing that you need to get done in that hour and get it done. Right? Like, I think sometimes we cause ourselves struggle unnecessarily because we feel like it has to be like this big thing. Start small. Start with where you are. Start with what you have. Most people are spending $15 to $30 going out to eat at least one time a week.
Yeah.
Doing fast food drive-through, right? Went to Chick-fil-A a few months ago for my family on just a Friday because it was just like, okay, we're tapped. Let's just grab something. It was like $30. I'm like, $30 for 2 adults and an infant? Like, what is this? Right? So we're spending the money. You're spending the money. It's just a matter of where you're putting it and where you're prioritizing it. Like, when I first hired an admin, I was like, okay, I can't afford to bring on an admin 100%. So I'm going to hire somebody that's part-time, right? My first admin that I ever hired, I think it was part-time. I think it was like 10 hours a week or something like that, right? But again, it was a sacrifice that I made in my business that I don't regret because it freed up my time. Right? That's how you make the money moves, right? You're freeing up your time. Like your goal is to be able to stay in that high level functioning, staying in your zone of genius, some people call it, right? Because that is where you're most creative. That's where your energy is highest, your highest vibration. That's where you're bringing in the things that align with what you say you want and what you're chasing after in your life. And when you lose that because you're bogged down by those mundane details, you lose that ability to tap into that, right? So, like, for example, my team, even on my research side, right? Like, I just hired another support person to support my project manager. Why? Because I don't have the time to train her right now. My focus needs to be on business development, bringing in more revenue into my company. Right. So we're not closing 6-figure deals by accident. No, we're moving money so that we can move more money. That's what I need to understand. Right. Because money is currency. We've been talking about currency today, right? Money is currency, meaning that it has to stay moving. Right. There's a flow to it. And I think I might have told Jeanni this one time, like one of my regular prayers is, Lord, make me a river and not a lake.
Yes.
Right?
Always flowing. Yes.
And it's because I need it to stay flowing. I need the Lord to trust that if he sends me money, it is going to flow directly through me to my team because I'm hiring people and I'm paying them excellent wages, right? Like, I'm paying people. You can never pay people what they're worth, but you can pay them what's worth their time. And I think that's a huge thing as we think about creating businesses. The whole point is not to just create a job or a hustle for yourself. The whole point of creating a business is to create jobs for other people. Right? So I need y'all to be thinking bigger, because if you are stuck and feeling like you have to do everything and you cannot afford to outsource anything, you're never going to grow. And if this is in a business context, you're never going to scale because you become the bottleneck in your business, and nothing can happen. No decisions can move forward without you being there. right? So you're just spreading yourself way too thin. So you don't have the capacity, right? So you have to be thinking about it. And I'm kind of toggling back and forth between personal and business. But for me, when it comes down to it, right, the principles are the same. Right? You're just changing which context you're applying them to. But you really, really have to understand that the money has to stay flowing. That's how you get more. That's how you get more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Make me a river, not a lake. That is going to be my new prayer.
Right.
Such a word.
So good.
Yes. So Talona and Jeanni, before we end today, I would love, and then we'll come back to you, Dr. Tiana, last. I would love for you all to share one move that a woman can make this week to start buying back her time.
Okay, so I'm looking at Renee. So Renee is a friend of mine from many, many years ago. This comment she just put up, I definitely believe in this economy, group economics matter. If you don't have the money, then perhaps barter.
Yes, I love that.
You could put in sweat equity to something in exchange for the thing that you need.
Yes.
That's so freaking good, Renee. That's so good, right? Say the question again, because I read that and it made me think when you said the question. Can you repeat the question for me?
Yes. What's one thing that women can do this week to start buying back her time?
Yeah, so think of the thing that overwhelms you right now. The thing that maybe one of the things that you absolutely hate doing. Like me, I prefer not to do administrative things in my business. Right? It's one of the things that's overwhelming that I procrastinate on sometimes because I just don't want to do it. Right. And so for me, that would mean, okay, it's time to get an assistant that's, I've hired them part-time, but I'm like, I probably need a full-time assistant. It's getting to that point. Right. So look at the things right now in your life that is overwhelming. And like Renee said, if you need to barter, barter. If you have the cash flow to make it happen, then make it happen. But whatever way that looks like for you, let's get that one thing, just choose one thing done this week. So if it is, oh my God, let's just say you've decided that this week you're the parent that picks up the kids from school. If it's something that you absolutely can't do and it's going to push you to the edge, call some other moms. Be like, hey, this one time this week, would you mind taking this on for me? Like, and being okay with some people may say no, it's okay. But the yes is out there. Find the yes. That's what you need to do this week. Find the yes. Okay.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that.
All right. What about you, Jeanni?
I think one thing that women can do this week to buy back their time is, I think, take a moment to replenish. I think many people are like, okay, how can I utilize as much time as I possibly can to do all the things and be as productive as I humanly can be? And I think sometimes actually you buy back and you gain back time, and when you gain back quality time. So when you take a moment to refresh, when you take when you're like, you know what, I don't have that moment to sit down and take those 10 minutes, like that should go to folding the laundry because my kid is asleep, or that should go to starting to prep dinner because I wanted to be ready to just put on the minute that my entire family walks through the door. I get that and I understand that, but sometimes taking that 10 minutes is you showing yourself, showing your body that you have dominion over the things that you care for, and especially over caring for you. I think people don't do enough of trusting their intuition on how to take care of themselves. They shoo away the intuitive space they go into when the body's saying, I need rest, or I need connection, or I need affirming. They just shoo it off in order to be more productive. To me, you buy back your time and you show dominion over your time when you actually live inside of the intuitive space that says, it's time for rest now. I'm going to rest. It's time for connection now. I'm going to stay on that call with my girlfriend for 5 extra minutes. It's fine. The kids can wait. I'm going to hug my husband a little bit longer. I know he's got to head off to work in a bit, but I'm going to hug him a bit longer. And you know what? The world will keep ticking.
I love that.
I love that. And Tiana,
Go ahead.
Okay. The question was one thing they can do this week?
Yeah, to buy back time.
One thing that you can do this week to buy back time. Okay, I'll tell you my favorite one. My
Okay.
favorite one is ordering groceries. Okay. Listen.
Tracy actually just posted that too down
Come
below.
on,
She got that on
Tracy.
there.
Yes, that whole food delivery be hitting. Okay? I literally go on my phone. Boop, 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 boop,
Y'all,
boop,
when I say if y'all ever at this woman's house, okay, there are food deliveries. It don't matter if you staying for 2 days, 3 days, you gonna see a food delivery at that door, okay? I love it. I love it.
Listen.
Yes.
I used to spend way too much time in the grocery store.
Hours.
Bro,
Hours.
what? Like me and Talona would be on the phone talking in Costco, losing the signal, right? Like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It
A
takes up
mess.
way too much time.
Lifting up all that heavy stuff, trying to put it in the back of my truck. Like, please, somebody else, get somebody else to do it, right?
Yes, that I'm telling you, that has blessed me.
Your whole life.
So if you want 1 week, and if you have Amazon, if you have Amazon Prime, it does not cost you extra. Okay, so you can do all the things. Okay, you can get all the groceries delivered. But yes, listen, I'm telling y'all, try it, come back, let me know how it goes.
Don't knock it. Look, and then Tracy added, reclassify your self-soothing choices as needs and necessities and not being lazy or unproductive.
Come on, reclassification.
Yes. Love that
I love
reclassification.
She says, as long as things are moving forward, take that win. I know that's right.
No, seriously. Okay.
We see the victory, sis. We see the victory.
Okay, somebody said food delivery adding years back to life. Okay, come on. Okay, let's see. Cassandra says, my husband keeps telling me to invest in grocery deliveries. Okay, listen, you might already be investing. If you got Amazon Prime, you might already be invested.
I feel your pain, Cassandra, because when you are a Sam's Club or Costco membership person, right, you understand that that's going to require 2 to 3 different stores because you can't buy everything in bulk. So now you get all your stuff in bulk, and then you got to go to another store. Maybe they don't have what you need. Then you got to go to a third store. It's just too much. It's too much. Okay. So yes, Cassandra, feel you. Listen to your husband.
Yes. Yes. That's good stuff.
It's great.
Well, ladies, I have really enjoyed this conversation today, and I can tell that our chat has also enjoyed the conversation. So if you enjoyed it, please share this. And I do want to end with one thing. Someone talked about bartering, and I did the research on the numbers, and actually the sharing and bartering economy is estimated to go to $1.12 trillion by 2029. So just know that there is wealth being hidden in bartering. So take that with you.
Love that.
Wow.
Come on, Stephanie, with the data. Come on.
Okay, can I be a part of this? I want to be a part of that statistic.
We all will be. We're going to put that into the atmosphere because we're going to be rivers and not lakes, like Dr. Tiana.
Always flowing. Always flowing.
Yes. Well, thank you, ladies, so much. And until next time, thanks again. Bye.
Bye. See you next week.
See you soon.